Hey guys, welcome back to Flying in Space with Planet Head. It is Saturday night, September 30th, 2023. I have a feeling this might be somewhat of a shorter video, which then should lead into some longer videos over the next couple of days. But I think it might be one of the more important videos I've ever put out because it pertains to possibly how I'm going to be playing the game for the long-term future, but at least definitely over the next several months, if not quite a while. And also how I might be doing some videos and some updates there. A lot of it pertains to a conversation that I had with a 17-year veteran of Eve while I was at the Lebowski bar in Reykjavik during Fanfest. So I don't know how long this video is going to go, but I'm going to point out a few things, and it made me do a little bit of soul searching, not only on my gameplay with Eve, but also a lot of other things that I've been doing personally, and actually kind of bled into my work this week when I got back. The other reason why this might be a little bit short is it is my Friday, even though it's Saturday, it's my last day of work of the week. And by this time, I'm usually really worn out and I just want to sit back and relax, which I'm going to do after this video. But we'll talk about that here in a second. The reason why I have Dotlan up right here is it directly pertains to, and I have the system Placid up here, directly pertains to one of my things I'm going to be doing here in the near future, and you'll see that here in a little bit. If you're wondering, yes, I have my Eve hat from Reykjavik, and I've got my Eve coffee mug that I brought back from Iceland. The only negative about this coffee mug is you know how much coffee I drink. It's a little bit small. So it's actually a normal size mug, but I'm used to drinking large ones. So, but that said, let me give a shout out to Mike from Fanfest. We had a great conversation at the Lebowski bar, and it has actually caused me to do a lot of thinking. And then the irony is, when you do that sort of thing, and then you start thinking about what your conversation was about. And then it proves itself to you. And I'm going to show you how this proves it. So Mike and I had a great conversation about a lot of Eve players. And now they have a lot of, and I'm not going to dig as deep as we did into this, but about how a lot of players have ADHD, attention deficit disorder. And I have always known that I had that. But sometimes you don't recognize where it's at. Part of, and I'm about to click on something here that's maybe going to make you guys laugh, but we're going to do it here in a second. Actually, I'm going to pull up something here real quick. This is the orchestral version of the cinematic orchestra to Build a Home, the instrumental version. If you ever want to listen to it, hit it up. It's great. This is the type of stuff I listen to in the background while I play it. If I can't play it on here, I'll get it by YouTube. Where was I going with this? And I'm doing exactly what Mike and I were talking about. Having ADHD or ADD or whatever you want to call it. Hey, you haven't seen her? Here she is, my fellow ADHDer. Here's Maya. Say hi, Maya. Good girl. There you are. Good girl. Yes. We went for a drive after work today, and she's super happy with me right now. That's a good girl. Okay, I'll talk to you later on. Okay, off. Good girl. Go play. You'll be back. I know you will. She hears me talking and she wants to join in. Shoot. I don't know where I was at with that. Hold on. So, one of the things that I came back with on from Fanfest, was meeting and listening to so many people and then having a clear vision of what they do. And over the years, I've never really had a huge vision of what I wanted to do. When I did come back to Eve in, I think, early 2020, maybe late 2019, my goal wasn't actually to play Eve, it was to learn how to make some YouTube videos. I'd never done anything like that before, and I'm still not that good at it. But, and then it just facilitated into this quest of trying different things out and doing different things over the last 2.5 years. At some point, you have to make a decision as to what you want to do with whether it be your life or your gameplay in Eve, or and I've done a bunch of different things. And recently, I've started to focus on what I wanted to do for the first time in over 10 years, well, probably 8 years. When I first started playing, I was really focused on mining and wanting to be in nullsec space, and I did that for a little while. But then it just bounced around for a long time, and you'll see here in a second what I'm talking about. And you're going to laugh, I'm telling, or you might not laugh. But came up with the concept about 6 months ago of trying to get into some PvP, but doing it in a very structured manner. I think the best corporations or best players that are out there know exactly what they want to do and how they do it, and then they do it really well, and then maybe they expand from that. Think about actual corporations of the world. They figure out one thing that they do really well, and then they do offshoots of that. So that said, whenever I got home, I said, I need to organize myself. I've got a great group of guys who are in my old corporation who are working together now. I want to get together with them and help them out any way I can, which I'm going to do. On the side note, they have done a great job recently. They did one of their first get-togethers where they were starting to do some of the new. They've been fleeting up a little bit and doing some NPC runs and stuff like that, getting their feet wet in that. Unfortunately, I missed it because I was working, of course. But great group of guys. I want to help out them any way I can. But as far as personally, I want to get back to my form of PvP, which I want to try to start learning to do, and that's gate camp busting. I've talked about that a long time ago. I've done a lot of different things, as you're about to see. I keep leading into this, and actually, I will get to that right now. So, if you've ever played Eve, I know you have to have heard of the phrase "spreadsheets in space." So, I actually went back and found my original first account that I had with Eve about 10 years ago. I thought it was a little bit longer than that, but once I pulled it up, it was almost 10 years ago, if not a little bit over 10 years. Well, the date is here in a second. I'm going to show you. And I played that account, and then a couple of years later, I started a second account. I played both of those accounts for quite a while. I was out in nullsec and grew those. And then I left Eve. But then over the course of years, I would constantly be going back into Eve and trying different things out until my big run over the last 2.5 years. But never did I get to the level that those characters were. But I had never really realized how many accounts that I made. So my actual goal when I got back from Fanfest was to look at all of my accounts, figure out which were the good ones, and pick 1, 2, or 3 to focus on over the next couple of months, and the rest of the characters that were out there to kind of organize them and get all their stuff to the accounts that I want to play. And this is what I came up with, and I'm not even done yet. That's how the funny part is. I spent the last week, whenever I had a little bit of free time when I wasn't working, going into each one of my old accounts. And there is one thing here that amazed me that I never knew I had, or I don't remember doing, and I had to have done it for quite a while, but I forgot, and it has opened my mind to what I want to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on the spreadsheet here just to show you guys. Now, there's a big gap in the middle here. Now, I don't know if you can read this. Let's see if I pull it up to So these are, and I don't honestly care that you guys might see these character names. These are all of the current character names that I've found so far. There is a gap here because I still have some time. These are my most recent characters that I made, but there's a gap in here of even some more that I haven't made. And this has been a trip down memory lane, but also oh my gosh, did I do that? I don't remember doing that. And just some highlights that I went through here. So, my very first character was, let's see here, William Stonemason, right here. And that was ironically made on April 1st, April Fool's Day. This was when he was born, 2013. So just over 10 years ago. I thought it was a little bit longer than that, but the irony of it being made on April Fool's Day just makes me laugh. So to organize myself a little bit, what I decided to do was take every character that I had out there and start moving them to a central place, if I can, at the time. And what I decided to do was send them to a little system called Orville out here in Placid. Why am I going to Orville? Because it sets me up in multiple options of being able to get into Gate Camp PvP. I know that Lay here and Abenel here a lot of times have gate camps. I also know that going into a nullsec system straight from highsec, there could be definitely some gate camps there. And even down here in Ostengall and anywhere in this faction warfare space out here, there might be some gate camps. So in the future, as I build toward trying to do gate camp busting and having fun with that, I'm moving all my characters to this one central location. Now, it doesn't mean that they will stay there. No. But it does allow me to start from scratch and take my ADHD and refine it with all these guys and start saying, okay, which ones do I want to keep? Which ones don't I want to keep? And work from there and try to figure out, okay, where do I want to keep my stuff at? If you guys want to pause this and look at all my stuff, you can. I don't care. I've always been an open player. What I did was I organized it by just to get a little bit of information about these characters so I can then choose which ones I want to use. Because I've got to choose them by account. Obviously, I have the character names here. I've got when they were born here. I can tell you right now, I have to keep this account because this is my first account. I'm not going to get rid of my first account. Plus, there is a decent number of skill points that I accumulated way back here. Each one of these characters, I put what their current ISK is about and their net worth. Now, the net worth is important to me because it kind of tells me, does this guy have some junk lying around that's worthwhile? Then over here, I put down which system I've moved them to. Now, I've currently been able to move almost every character here over to Orville, except for 2 characters, which are out in nullsec. And whenever I pulled them up and was working to move them, or looking to move them, there was a lot of PvP activity that I really wasn't ready to use. But I literally, over the last week, have moved all these characters from all over space down to the little system of Orville. Now, it's temporary, but it's there. I'm also going through and finding out which ones of these characters actually have some asset safety sitting out there. Because that might be something that's worthwhile. I know that one of my characters somewhere out there had an Astor House. I know another character had some pieces to build a carrier. Whenever I left the first time, I was in the middle of, I had actually contracted out to somebody to build a carrier, and then that person, our area got taken over. That person gave me that stuff back, but then it got asset safety. So I know there's some stuff that's worthwhile out there. I'm also writing down what ship they're currently flying. And that most of the time it was just some junker that they were flying along. Then over here, I'm writing down what is their highest level of skilling into whichever ships that are out there. If you notice here, I actually have a character that I haven't played in years that is skilled into carrier. Again, I will be keeping this account. Now, whenever it goes active, I don't know, but this is one of the main accounts that I'm going to keep. I can tell you my second account that I'm definitely going to keep, and that is pretty much one of my most recent ones, other than Planet Greenhorn, which I've been doing the 30-day videos on recently. But this is my Pilgrim account. Shush, she's back. She wants to talk. But this is the characters that I'm playing with my corporation that I'm working with, the Maya Militia. And it's my most focused characters right now, and it's the ones that I'm going to keep actively playing as an Omega no matter what right now. That said, I needed to pick between some of these other characters. What I'm looking at maybe a third account that I want to bring up and be active with. Now, I've gone through a bunch of these. I'm going to tell you, I think I have probably like 3 or 4 other accounts I still have to pull up the characters for, but just this morning, it's kind of why I'm making the video today, just this morning I found the account that no matter what, I have to also get up and active and working with, because it has 2 major things going for it, and none of them have anything to do with how many skill points I have or anything like that. And it is the one that's right above here. And I completely forgot about this. I actually created the character named Planet Head. So that's the first thing. So I will have a character that I will be using at some point over the next 3 months and starting to get up and running as my YouTube moniker of Planet Head. If you don't know the story about my nickname, it comes from my brother when I had this size head, but on like a little 5'0" kid's body. You can't really tell by the video right now, but my head I actually have to buy hats or wear stocking caps because regular hats don't fit me. I have a massive head. And the fact that I actually have a character out there named Planet Head on an account, I have to use that account. I have to do it. And he's not in too bad a shape here. He's got 10 million skill points. He can fly some cruisers. So I really haven't checked him out a whole lot. He has some money, so that's pretty cool. Here's the last part here. Every one of these accounts had 3 characters on it, except for this one. This one has 2 characters, a character by the name of Silent Moose, which I kind of like, and Planet Head. So I've got one last space here to grow if I want to create a specialized character. So I'm not going to mess with that at all, but it gives me options down the road. I like options, you know me. But this gives me those things. The last but not least piece de resistance to using this character or this account is that Silent Moves is the CEO of my favorite corp name that I ever came up with that I forgot about, Tremendous Machines. That comes from the Secretariat race of the Belmont. If you ever get a chance, watch it. It's one of my favorite phrases that I've ever seen. But it's called, and whenever he's running around the track and he starts separating himself from the pack and he blows the rest of the horses away. It's the most amazing race you'll ever see. My father actually told me it was the most amazing thing he had ever seen. But the announcer says that Secretariat was moving across down the racetrack like a tremendous machine. And somewhere along the line in 2018, I created this account, and I think Planet Head was part of Tremendous Machines at one point, but then he went Faction Warfare or something. I'm not sure. But that'll be an account. Now, why am I bringing all this up? Part of it is to show you how you can maybe organize yourself if you've gotten a little bit into the weeds. I'm going to be taking all of these characters and figuring out what I want to do. Some jokes that I actually did here was I had named a character. Now that I'm remembering, going down memory lane, I had actually named characters No One and Some One and Vry One. for the fact that if somebody ever wanted to target me, they would have to say, I'm targeting no one, or I'm targeting someone, or I'm targeting everyone. Then there was forming up on at or attacking Planet 2 or Planet 1 or no one. I remember making these again. Well, I barely remember. If you notice, they don't have too many skill points. So I was just goofing around with these at those times. And I know I wasn't playing these, but if you ever get a chance, go down some memory lane if you have old accounts that you messed around with. It's been a long time, but to kind of give you guys an idea, I'm relaxing a little bit, but I'm focusing on what I want to do in the future. And number one is I want to help my current corporation, the Maya Militia, as much as I possibly can. Number two, and this is going to take a couple of months, I'm going to give myself to the end of the year. I'm going to slowly start organizing all of these guys, and if I do some skill extraction or do something along those lines, or use these guys for something special, I'm not going to have all these accounts, but I do want to use them for what they can be used for. The other thing that I've gone through over here is I've started logging how much Plex that I have on each one of these accounts. So at some point, whenever I do make the decision to make these go full time, I will have some Plex to start off with. So now I don't know if this video was helpful to you guys at all, but I wanted to give you guys a heads up as to where I'm at, my headspace. I'm going to be focusing on refocusing myself to have fun. I've always had fun playing this game, but to go to that next step, taking that next step and not creating new accounts anymore, going from a novice, boot up player to somebody who moves to that next medium level. That guy who lives in the Eve and plays and helps people and does the corporation thing and takes it a little bit more seriously. And by doing that, I will still be experimenting, but I'm going to start focusing my videos and things like that on specific things that go along with that. Then that part of that will be different things like recruitment for the corporation that I'm helping out. Part of it will be just trying out different things. I'm just going to have fun with it. If you guys want to join me along for the ride, please feel free. Like I said, this is my Friday, so I'm a bit tired. So here's the irony. I am actually going to boot up my characters here and keep moving them over because it's nice and relaxing. So hopefully this weekend I'm sure I will be on later on this weekend, and I will do a much more involved and fun video. Maybe I'll get myself blown up a couple of times, you never know. But that's that. So I just want to give you guys a heads up. Really, this was a lot for the guys I'm playing with, to give them a heads up where I'm at, where my headspace is. But if it helps you guys at all to get reorganized or reset yourselves, please feel free. And if you have any ideas, hit me up in the comment section, that sort of thing. So next video will be a lot more about either Planet Greenhorn or Pilgrim, and I'll get back to the content. Tonight's just a sleepy night. So, hey, that's all I got for tonight. If anything, as always, fly safe, fly dangerously, fly wherever you want. And I will talk to you soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.